The Prime Minister faces the possibility of returning from a trip to the US without meeting Donald Trump face-to-face. Anthony Albanese is preparing to leave for New York this morning to attend a UN General Assembly meeting. There's growing speculation from government critics over whether he'll also talk to the US president in person. That may be viewed as another setback to Australia's foreign policy after recent unsuccessful talks with Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu. But I speak live now to the Director General of the Hague Initiative for International Cooperation and International Law, expert Andrew Tucker. Andrew, thanks for your time on Sky News Australia this morning. A lot's been made here as to Anthony Albanese's failure so far to secure a face-to-face with US President Donald Trump. In your experience of global political dealings, how serious is that?
Look, I think it just shows that Albanese's policy of this Labor government is missing the mark. And I think it shows the irrelevance of Australia's foreign policy, certainly as far as the Middle East is concerned.
And President Trump has just been speaking in the Oval Office in the last hour or so. He talked about his appearance at the UN General Assembly coming up this week. He said he'll be meeting many world leaders and then went on to say, nobody has done a better job than I have for world peace. Would you agree?
Well, he's certainly done a lot for world peace, but we don't see a lot of conflicts actually being resolved. So there's a lot more to be done, and it appears that making peace is more than just making deals. So if you look at the Middle East, most countries in the Middle East, which is my area of expertise, are still in a dire straits of conflict. Iran is far from demolished. The revolutionary regime, in Tehran is far from being demolished. It's still very active in the region. There's a lot going on. And I think President Trump's doing a great job in many directions, but there's a long way to go.
What would you like to see come out of this UN General Assembly?
Look, if we can focus on the Middle East for a moment, I think what really needs to happen is to take a step back from the idea that you can create simple solutions to these very complex problems. It doesn't help to go in and impose Western ideas of conflict resolution on a very complex region. So let me put Russia and the Ukraine to one side and just focus on the Middle East for a moment. We have a very, very complex region where particularly the radical Islam and the axis between Sunni and Shiite radical forces are still very, very active. We have in Syria a huge problem, I think, with this dictator who the West are pandering to, but nevertheless is simply ISIS in a suit. ISIS is still very active. Turkey is on the move, occupying parts of northeast Syria. So there's a lot of dynamics going on here, and what needs to happen, I think, is the heat needs to be taken out of it. People need to just take their time and create a process to look in the bigger picture instead of short-term solutions.
And Andrew, what would you say after the United Nations declared there was genocide happening in Gaza?
Well, the people who've declared that genocide is happening in Gaza is the International Human Rights, UN Human Rights Council's Permanent Commission of Inquiry, headed by Navi Pillay, who is, in my view, and I'm sorry to say it, she's an anti-Semite. She's always been anti-Semite. And what they do is they put aside the actual definition of genocide in the Genocide Convention. They create effectively their own definition and interpret the facts in order to achieve what is a predetermined decision. Genocide is the most heinous of crimes, And the test of genocide is the intention to eliminate, to destroy in whole or in part a people or race or group as such. So what you have to prove is that Israel, the state of Israel, not any particular leader or person, has the intention, the deliberate intention, and not of killing a lot of people in the Gaza Strip. And let's face it, a lot of people have been killed, are being killed. This is a war. This is not genocide, because there is no proof, in my view, and in the view of many people, that Israel is intending to, that the very purpose of this whole point is to destroy the Palestinians as a people. If Israel wanted to eliminate the Palestinians, it would have done it a long time ago. It wouldn't be providing humanitarian aid. It wouldn't be providing humanitarian corridors. It wouldn't be providing immunity for illnesses and all kinds of things. It wouldn't be warning the Palestinians to get out of areas that they are striking. Okay. So there's so much evidence that this is not genocide. The International Court of Justice is considering the matter. It will take another year or two, and let's wait for their decision, I would say.
OK, that's the Director General of the Hague Initiative for International Cooperation, Andrew Tucker. Andrew, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.